Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Good morning, my fellow film buffers. Peter A. DeLuca here, your film buff, the obsessive film freak of the airwaves, of the podcasting. We're going. We're on more and more networks. I just yet did another round of submitting this podcast on more free networks. We're probably up to 50, 60 now. And we're talking, as obsessive film freaks talk about, it's a loaded gun episode, aka Padders. We bury the dead 2024. I did a couple different intros for this episode. Some of them were story, some of them were my morning. Some of it's just telling you guys all this cool stuff with City Hall that's happening around the World Cup. We got the World Cup. We have the 250th anniversary of America. And then by the time all that is over here in Philly, we're going to get the Phillies on a wild card run that might be historically, because they had such a bad start to the season. But historically, if they even make the wild card, it will be one of the great MLB comebacks. Now, everyone's going to forget that if they lose in the wild card round, or even if they just don't make it to the World Series and win, because that's the only thing acceptable from the Phillies right now. It's a World Series win. So my first few intros, and sorry, I had to take a big gulp of this smoldering hot coffee that I forgot to make, by the way. I woke up so early, got to work, fell into a work hole, completely forgot to make coffee. My fiance wakes up and she's like, "Where's the coffee?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I made the coffee. I just never pressed the button." But we love what we do. And here's the crazy thing. Part of me waking up was jumping on Mortal Kombat 2. So be on the lookout. I know we've been doing a lot of more Mortal Kombat content. We love that franchise. We do like the sequel, but we got things to talk about. This is a weird business. I kept thinking about that, trying to watch this movie. I couldn't get through this movie. Here's the thing. There's a effective way to execute movie tropes. My definition, and maybe our definition of a movie trope, is different than the vernacular. My definition of a film trope is using what the audience knows to usher a plot, to move along a story. And there's a lot of study of film tropes. Here's the wacky thing. I remember there was this one author. He did film tropes and film flubs, and he would do the talk show circuit and come out with a new book and be on Entertainment Tonight. And it was just like it was a fun way to see some of the mechanics of a film. Even film flubs. And film flubs are absolutely meaningless. You get so many of these somewhat viral, like, Facebook posts. It'll be like, "They made a mistake in this movie. Don't they hire people?" And you just get a lot of people pretending to be stupid. Honest, they are pretending to be dumb when they don't respond to a film trope, when they want to pretend that a film flub is bigger than what it is. But when it comes to film tropes, I think the internet came in and just eradicated the practice of film tropes. Now, here's the thing. If you want to call it the commentary community, the critic community, the reputation that film tropes evolved into, well, it's just low-hanging fruit criticism. It's easy ways for people to sound like that they're being critical about a movie. And it's not the case. Everything has tropes. Everything has conventions. Everything has a little bit of a formula. Some more clear than others. For example, you get something like adaptation or being John Malkovich, and or Woody Allen's Zelig that I was just talking about not long ago. It's a part of filmmaking. It's not a part of film commentary. It's not. But every once in a while, we get like a film trope that you kind of see on the wall, and you're saying to yourself, I just hope we don't go there, because the story is interesting enough not to kind of walk through the store. If we stay away from the trope, we're going to have a heck of a more entertaining, watchable movie. We Bury the Dead 2024 walks into such a clear, obvious, low-hanging fruit. We're desperate to make this movie conversational, or I'm just trying to thrill you position coming from Zach Hildrich, who's our writer-director. We get a little bit of a desperation. That trope is that when we have a zombie movie, it's going to turn into an allegory on men versus women, and the woman is going to be somehow sexualized by the guy, and he's going to want to fiddle with the woman, and she's not going to want to fiddle with the guy, and it becomes a story about that. Where the goofy thing is, everything we had in this movie was perfectly there. It was acceptable. It was, is this a zombie apocalypse? Is this something else type feel, which I responded to. We had a woman wanting to get back to her husband. This woman is played by Daisy Ridley, who we do not speak about enough on this. And I feel like we do. We need a Daisy Ridley episode. She's great in this. Everyone's good in this. This movie has atmosphere. This movie has moments. And there is a sense of desperation. That's when we walk into a zombie movie, you kind of want that. You want that pressure, that anything could be around the corner, anticipation of watching a movie. Because always with a zombie movie, we know more than the people inside the movie. So we really get to witness absolute chaos. But it turns into a rape movie. I gotta say grape because, AI is going to flag things a certain way. I think you guys know. But the movie's great to a certain point. Daisy Ridley's character, she is trying to make her way to her husband. Her husband's in kind of like this dead zone. And she's a part of a group of people who are just getting the bodies together. Then she escapes and goes off on her own. And, it becomes that type of movie. Very quickly, we see a caravan of people just driving, shooting zombies, and they gotta lay low. And you're almost that's where my interest level just drops, because we're out of where we started, and now we're just kind of going through the motions of survival horror. Women versus men, men can't control themselves, and all of these very weak, low-hanging fruit positions from a zombie movie standpoint. There's other zombie movies that went down this road. That's a little bit of why I'm calling this a really bad trope, because I think the first time you see it, the first time you see that allegory, I think it's there. It sticks with you. It's powerful. I think, for example, there's this one scene in Akira where the whole city's falling, everything's in chaos, and one of the city council members is walking, and he's kind of like having a heart attack, and his briefcase flies open, and you just see it's full of money, where society and the world and everything that these people know is about to get obliterated, and this a-hole just cares about money. It's such a and you see it for the first time, and it sticks with you, but it's so effective it becomes a trope where There's multiple zombie movies that make the same point. Some of them good, some of them bad. There's now multiple zombie movies that want to make this point, that men truly can't control themselves in a absolute crisis. Few movies do I just stop. I stop and I said, I'm done with. It does happen, and sometimes I get back into the movie and I like kind of restarted from, thank God for streaming. Uh, Sometimes movies, a week will go by for a movie. I can go to it, pick up where I left off again. Great thing about streaming. Watch it and then say, you know what? Since I know where this part goes, let me do the film a service and restart the movie so I can be fully refreshed getting into that moment. This is a part of the film buff, film going habit. I think these films deserve as much of my attention and as much credit as I can give them as possible. This movie, outside of this trope, has a lot of cool moments, and it's weird and it's creepy. And there's a run in this film where you're not sure if it's a zombie movie or not. Like something killed these people and they're acting a certain way, but are they really zombies? Like just good stuff. Daisy Ridley, she is headlining this film, I believe, as she should. But it's a weird business. Hollywood has been weird to Daisy Ridley because I feel like she is a talent. She's there. I think just coming out of a franchise like Keira Knightley, I think they're like equal positions. Hollywood was so much kinder to Keira Knightley. I don't know, my fellow film buffers. This movie is not a recommendation. I don't have an impulse to re-engage in this film. At this point, I'm not interested within the movie if she finds her husband or if her husband's a zombie king or if anything's happened to him. Maybe he's just watching TV. I would love that. I would love for a movie to be like the most perfect survival horror movie, and you find the person and they're just like having a normal day. That would be perfection in my eyes. Subvert the expectations, as they say. But yeah, AKAPADers, I think Zach Hildrich has demonstrated a true ability with this movie. I think as a filmmaker, he can continue. He has a vision. He has an eye. Knows how to shoot. Like some of for example, like the one takeaway so far that I've seen in this movie is the landscapes. There's some fantastic, sprawling David Lean, and I hate that reference, shots where it's just from like corner to corner, and you see kind of like how far this girl's going. Really good stuff, really effective shots there. Zach has an eye, but at the same time, you have to write this type of story with an absolute vision at this point, and you can fall into tropes to guide the audience, but not this way. All right, film buffers, I love you guys. Rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.